Peter Parker has had enough mentors in the MCU.
Don't you think? Let's just say it once.
It's time for him to let loose and have some fun. Maybe eat a chimichanga or two with a new BFF? That's right, the MCU's Spider-Man needs Deadpool, and thanks to the multiverse, that could very well be an upcoming possibility. I mean, everyone else is gonna appear in Spider-Man No Way Home, and you just know the Merc with the Mouth hates to be excluded. How could Deadpool factor into the hotly anticipated sequel? And how could it set him up for future MCU appearances? Let's discuss now. Deadpool must be pretty upset right now. I mean, his two movies are two of the highest earning R-rated films of all time. And just when we thought we'd be getting Deadpool movies every few years for the rest of our lives, the powers that be had to change everything up. Disney bought Fox, and while this is exciting news for X-Men fans, it did leave Deadpool with a huge question mark over his head. Obviously, Disney is family-friendly and strictly PG-13 levels of fun. Deadpool likes to use an excessive amount of blood and cursing to make the PG-13 rating shake in its boots. So just how is Deadpool gonna fit into this new Disney future? Well, he'll latch onto Spider-Man, of course. Okay, we're gonna have some fun today, so bear with me. I think the best way to bring Deadpool into the MCU is to be as meta as possible. After the events of Deadpool 2, Wade Wilson will be sitting around twiddling his thumbs waiting for that all-important call from Walt Disney's frozen severed head telling him that he gets to be an Avenger. But as Deadpool sees more and more Fox characters like the X-Men and the Fantastic Four get their own films, he gets impatient. He decides he's gonna strike out on his own to find a way into the MCU himself. He breaks into Kevin Feige's secret superhero lair, and once he gets past all the booby traps and extreme security measures, Deadpool will find the motherlode. All the scripts for the upcoming MCU movies. He'll burn a few of them for fun, which include Wolverine Resurrection starring Hugh Jackman, until he finds the one for Spider-Man No Way Home. In the script, he'll see Spider-Man is going on an adventure through the multiverse but will get lost, so Deadpool makes the decision to go help him out and bring him home. He knows that Spider-Man is the MCU's crown jewel now, and he figures if he saves Spider-Man, he's as good as in. So, using an altered version of the time travel device from Cable, he learns how to jump through the multiverse to rescue the webhead. So what would it be like if Spidey and Deadpool met up in the multiverse? Well, picture this. Spider-Man is feeling a little out of sorts. He's on the run, framed for murder, his identity is out for the world to know, and he keeps running into Spider-Man characters from previous franchises. But then Deadpool shows up to lend a sarcastic helping hand. Now, in the comics, Spider-Man and Deadpool have a very unique relationship, and that's because that version of Spider-Man is a bit more confident and quippy than Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Tom Holland's Spidey is still very much a puppy dog in human form, and he's very young. This is gonna surprise Deadpool. For one, Deadpool was expecting to see Tobey Maguire or even Andrew Garfield because he hasn't really kept up with all the Spider-Man reboots. He thought he'd be teaming up with an equal, but then realizes that this Spider-Man needs more mentoring and guidance. So now that their introductions are out of the way, what kind of shenanigans will the two get up to in the multiverse? Well, Deadpool realizes that this Spider-Man needs to loosen up a bit. He has the weight of the world on his shoulders and is veering dangerously close to emo Tobey Maguire attitude. So, Deadpool takes Spider-Man on a fun jaunt through different realities. Maybe Deadpool will do a whole It's a Wonderful Life type of scenario where he takes Peter to a reality where he never became Spider-Man and how awful that reality would have been. Maybe Deadpool takes him to a reality where Iron Man and Uncle Ben are alive so that Peter gets to have a bit of closure. Maybe Deadpool takes Peter to a reality where every day is Punch Quentin Beck in the stomach day. All I'm saying is that it would be a lot of fun. But as with everything, all good things must come to an end eventually. Throughout their fun time together, beating up different bad guys and jumping through the multiverse, Deadpool realizes that he needs to take Peter home. Spider-Man inches closer to the version of the webhead we know from the comics, while Deadpool learns that he can have fun without being as violent. And okay, yeah, in this version I didn't really have them face a big villain, but how's that for subversive? A superhero movie that's more of a buddy hangout comedy than an actual superhero film. But now, Deadpool officially follows Peter back to his home universe, and this allows Deadpool to actually be in the MCU moving forward. And what would that look like long term? Well, Deadpool would have to adjust to his new life. I'd think that he would actually strive to find a plot for himself that warrants a Disney Plus television series because he knows that's what the future of the MCU is going to be. I think a big problem with Spider-Man in the MCU so far is that he feels just like a mentee to the Avengers instead of being seen as an equal. And yes, I get it, this Spider-Man is young, but in the future, I would like to see him have more friends rather than just his school group. What made the Avengers so successful is that they were all on the same level with each other. And giving Peter a new friend in Deadpool might do a whole lot for his character. Or, maybe Deadpool will get bored of mentoring and set his sights on a much loftier goal. What if Deadpool 3 was just all about Deadpool trying to restore the Snyderverse? Now that's a movie I want to see.